you've got a new album coming up. You're in the recording studio. How's it coming along?
Sounds great, man. We were actually really stoked with it. It's hard when you're in the pre-production stage because you've got your old album there and it's mastered and sounds amazing, and then you've got these crappy demos you've done in your garage and they sound rubbish, and you go, oh, I hope it's good. What's it going to sound like? But we've been in there for a couple of weeks now, and it sounds like the old album just on on turbocharge. It's just really high energy rock and roll. So
beautiful.
I mean, it's always going to sound like massive because we wrote the songs. So it's just an extension on from Full Throttle, and yeah, we're happy with what we've got so far. Definitely.
Fantastic. That's really good. Did you do anything different or special on this new album to do with sound wise or recording wise?
Recording wise is pretty much the same. I mean, we're going back to Ricky Ray, who did our first album, so it's a familiar place for us. Sound wise, we've done a few different things. There's an acoustic guitar on this. We didn't have anything like that on the first album. So and even singing wise, we sing to what I sing to what the song needs. So there's a few different things I've done on this album, a few different voices that I've never even done. There's a few bits that sound like System of a Down and weird things in it that I didn't know was going to come out in the studio, but we just try things and they work. So
it's a sort of harder guttural type of stuff?
There's some harder stuff, there's some...
what about falsetto? Did you talk? Because you get a little bit of falsetto on the first album.
A fraction, yeah. There's a couple of slower songs. I suppose this album, it's going to be more of a wide range of things. The first album was more about having a party and being foot on the throttle kind of stuff. This album's going to be more about making a complete rock album. You've got the big epic songs, you've got the fast heavy metal songs. So I mean, there are a lot more things going on in this album. So there's a lot more heavier stuff at the start, and there's some big epic notes that probably didn't think I could hit about a year ago. So we'll see what happens, eh?
Fantastic. It's great. I'm looking forward to hearing it. It sounds really, really good. Mate, with the debut album, you had some great catchy vocal hooks and melodies. How do you come up with those? Because, the first album's great. It's just hook laden all the way through it. There's more hooks in there than a fisherman's tackle box. So how do you come up with those there?
I guess it's just the way we write. Like myself and Jared, we sit there and we jam it. And
now Jared's a drummer.
Yeah.
Just with Jared. He's a mean-looking guy. He's up on the board.
He's up there somewhere.
Is he like the security guard of the band?
Yeah,
he looks pretty mean. He
looks pretty mean, but he's pretty placid.
Is he?
He's a pretty easygoing guy. We've been in bands for years, and he's actually he's a guitarist, piano player.
Okay.
So having him on drums is really cool because he puts the beats down, then he has ideas with melodies and chords and music. So
that's great.
Which makes it a lot easier. So
you both come up with the melodies, or you just come up with the melodies?
We come up with the structures, and what happens is we sit there, put on something on record, press record on our phones or on a tape deck or whatever, and record ideas. We just jam, and we'll take a bit that sounds good and write a song around that bit. So I mean, I literally just sing anything, make up words, make up melodies, and if I sing something that I like, or we go back and listen to it and go, that bit, then we take that bit and make it into a hook. So I guess we don't really plan, let's write a big epic melody or anything. We just sing and jam, and if something pops out, we just wing it, I guess.
Yeah. That's a great way to go, mate. When you're growing up, and even now, who are the singer-songwriters that you're inspired by?
Obviously, Axl Rose, Steven Tyler, Bon Scott. Even those are the guys that I emulate with my voice a lot. I have that kind of hard, high, wailing rock sound.
Yeah.
But also Chris Cornell and Glenn Hughes, the soul singers that sing rock music.
Yeah.
Their energy and their emotion they put in their rock voices is a big thing for me. And those voices I listen to and think, man, I wish I could do some of that stuff. I can wail like anything, but listening. We toured with Glenn Hughes when he came out here last, and we got to share a band room with him and sit back and talk. And he's the ultimate gentleman. Like, he'll give up his ideas, he'll give up his tips, and he was such a great guy to talk to. And he's getting on in age, and he's done a lot of stuff in his past that should ruin his voice, but his voice is just still up there and still crystal clear and so much emotion. So you learn from that, definitely.
On that there, Glenn Hughes, physical condition? What was he like when you were touring? Because I did see some photos and he looked like he was in pretty good shape. Now we all know, we've all read about Glenn Hughes and his abuse that he's done. But what was he like?
He was amazing. He was absolutely on it. And even his guitarist who is touring with him, he's from Europe. He brought his guitarist over. The Sydney show that we did, he even said to us, he's like, I've never heard Glenn sing that well. For 2 hours, he just nailed it. And we he's off everything he used to do. He doesn't drink, he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So, and he's similar to what I was doing. Like he doesn't talk at soundcheck. He doesn't talk at all.
Okay.
And when he gets up there, he'll speak quietly into the mic, yes, this, that, and that's it. And then he gets up and it's just, he can hit any note that he wants, and he's got this perfect voice. This just clearly comes through the mic like anything. So singing wise, he's at the best of it. Like he's been. He sang all the Deep Purple songs in the same keys. Like
wow,
unbelievable. And he sang some of them acoustic.
Wow.
So he sang Mistreated acoustic, and he's hitting those notes like.
Wow.
It's insane.
That's really good, because I know I've heard some Coverdale stuff lately as well too, and he brings it right down. So, do you know did Glenn Hughes? Do you know if he had a warm up before? Obviously, he would have had a warm up, but were you there when he was doing that? You guys might have been coming off stage.
Yeah, they locked the room
for
half an hour before it. They and they had his quiet time. Even his band went in there. It was just him. He has his own little hidden away moment, but that's how his routine goes, and that's how he gets up there and does his thing. But I didn't get to watch him warm up or do anything like that. But as I said, he was so open. Like after the Sydney show especially, we all sat down and hung out, and he was very grateful for us being on the tour. And we were like, mate, we're grateful to even be here, mate. Don't worry about that. So, and he was very happy to tell us anything we wanted to know. So,
is there anything else you want to let us know about your songwriting process with what you're been doing?
It's I mean, for the album especially, we only write the album. We're never going to be a band that writes 50 songs and narrows it down.
Yeah.
Like we always want to write the album. So, and the way we go about it is we focus on one song at a time. We don't have 20 ideas running through our head. So we get one song, and if we have one idea, we work on it till it's finished. And then when that song's finished, we get the next song and we work on that until it's finished. So, I mean, it's a bit monotonous sometimes because you're sitting there and you've got this one idea. If you're stuck on it, your album's stuck until you get through that idea.
Yeah.
So, but for that, it works for us. So if it works for you, then it's right, I guess.
You've got to work out what's right for you, and also with the way that you're writing there as well. So you pour your heart, soul, and everything to that song. It's like your baby. You do it, and it's done. Then you move to the next one. So I suppose that's a really good way to work on it as well too, because you're giving it 110%, then you move on to another one, not just working on 30 or 40 different sort of song ideas.
And you never end up with fillers, because if you're not happy with it, you go back, you fix it before you move on. So, I mean, there's never going to be a filler song on our albums that the critics might say that, but we're gonna love every single song that makes it. So
have you ever written a song and go, nah, we're not going to do it, or it's geez, we've written a reggae song?
Well, I mean, the first album has a dance song on it, and has
it's a great
song. Gospel choir, and it is
fantastic.
Whatever works. We're not one of those bands that has sound.
Just on that subject there, I know Dance Floor. You're talking about Dance Floor, aren't you, on the first album, which is a great song. I think there have been lots of massive bands that have written dance songs. The Rolling Stones, Emotional Rescue. I Was Made for Loving You is a straight out dance song. It is. Is there anything planned like this on the new album? Anything different like that? I know you said System of the Down, so we're going down a little bit of a different area, but
there's a heavier song called Circus. It's got a bit of that kind of guttural sounds in the voices and stuff like that. But I mean, there's the first song we recorded for this album is called The Way It's Always Been, and at the moment it's probably going to be the single we release first off it, and it's a real bluesy song. Like we're still thinking about putting harmonica and stuff like that in it. There's just some things that could go anywhere at the moment. It's the base of it's finished, but it could go from anywhere from there. So
interesting, because I can't. When was the last time I heard a harmonica in a song? Aerosmith, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably a couple of albums ago now, but that's probably the last time that I sort of heard anything. So
it's just whatever the song needs, and when you're in there, you think of ideas, and if it works, it sticks. So but there's no there's no structure. We're not going to go out and try and write a dance song because this song has no dance on. But
yeah,
you know, if as I said, there's a bluesy song. It's real bluesy, all these sevenths and crazy stuff like that. But
yeah.
You know, if it sounds good, it makes it.
Yeah, so you're just going with the feel of it, with what you feel like writing at the time,
Yeah,
whatever comes out. Sounds fantastic. Different subject here. Your live vocal rig and setup. What is it? What do you do? Anything special?
Not much special, mate. Being rock and roll, it's more about just having a good, clean microphone that works. And
Yeah.
you know, I used to use a Sennheiser 865E, which is a condenser mic, but it's a live mic, and it was a bit bright. Like it was very bright. Probably not suited to rock and roll really. So now I use a Beta 58, just my own. I don't use the pub mics because they are covered in spit. But you know, it just captures my sound. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, and it's plugged straight in and no effects. Just
so just
on you go.
Straight in. That's it. Fantastic. There we go. Mate, on a totally different subject here, we know that you do some acting on the side, and you've got a bit of a cult following with the Coles ads here. For our international viewers, Coles is a supermarket chain over here in Australia that have also used the Status Quo guys with it as well too, and Brad's one of the guys that does one of the ads over here. Anything coming up in the pipeworks? I know that you've told me a couple of things, but anything that you can let us know about that you've got coming up in the future to do with your acting?
Acting's a fun thing to do, mate. It's not going to be my career or anything like that. There's a few things, not much I can talk about, but I've got an audition in a couple of days for another ad, so we'll see if I get that. But yeah, it's just whenever it comes about, my agent will send me a text or give me a call and say, go to this at this time, and I go. But yeah, there's a few things coming up, but you know, watch.
Something off the cuff here as well too, but I know a couple of guys of my students as well have well too that have got great voices, have ventured off and done some theatre as well too, which is a little bit different thing. I know Rob Mills has done it and different things. Anything? Do you think you'd ever do anything like that? Because I could see you do with your range. I could definitely see you doing all the Lloyd Webber stuff. You know, the big high sort of things. Ever done any theatre or anything like that?
I went for an audition once for the Rock of Ages.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously didn't get very far in that. Had no experience at all. I just went for the audition. So, look, like, you know, it's all partly, musicians are creative people. So, theatre, acting, music, you know, art, it's all part and parcel of each other. So that's why so many actors get into acting or into music and you know, it's just another thing that
30 Seconds to Mars, pretty reckless.
Exactly.
It all sort of crosses over there, doesn't it?